Would you want the Packers to sign Beckham, or do you think they should kind of wait until maybe closer towards the playoffs?
Well, he's sending a lot of messages on Twitter that indicate to me that he has interest in playing for the Packers. And, if he came onto our team, I mean, he would be the number one receiver. I mean, looking at it, like when he was with the Rams, they had Cooper Kupp, they had Robert Woods, they had a plethora of weapons. I mean, here, Aaron Rodgers makes his weapons. His weapons don't make him. So he's, really took Robert Tonyan and made him into a number one tight end. Romeo Doubs had a breakout game versus Tampa, and I was shocked. That was a great game for the rookie. But I think we should wait a little bit because OBJ's market's not too hot right now. There's not a lot of teams that are pursuing him. And if there are, he probably wouldn't have interest in them. I mean, even if Cleveland showed him high interest, his friend Jarvis Landry isn't there anymore, right? So I think that would steer him away from there, even with the whole Deshaun Watson situation, So I think Aaron Rodgers and OBJ would be explosive. I mean, I couldn't imagine how many passing touchdowns they would have. I mean, yeah, OBJ's torn his ACL twice. He's not the same player he was in 2016, but I think that would be a great signing because just to have the presence and the name on the team, that automatically requires double coverage. Even if he's just a decoy. There we go. Even if he's just a decoy on the field, I'm more than happy with that because that opens up plays for Randall Cobb, which he's been making a lot of plays in his like 9th or 10th year in the league. And I think, once we get Sammy Watkins back, that would help him a lot. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson would get a lot of open field if we got OBJ because he requires double coverage, whether that's man coverage and a safety on him or, you help him in whatever way. So I think, yes, we should sign him.
When you look at Beckham, there's kind of three teams that are intriguing when, there's rumors about Beckham could sign with. One's the Packers, one is the Giants. That's been kind of, been talked about some, with their success so far. And you already kind of mentioned Landry with the Saints. But when you look at the Saints, they're 1-3. Jameis Winston's hurt. I don't know why you wouldn't go play with the Saints if Andy Dalton would be your quarterback if Winston's out. I mean, the way Winston throws the ball, you could get tons of targets. I mean, he throws it seems like more than anybody else. But their bad start already 1-3. It's going to be kind of hard to bounce back and get into a playoff position if you don't know how long till Winston's going to be out for. Then you look at the Giants. They've been really, really impressive so far. 3-1 despite a horrible offensive line. Daniel Jones at times has actually looked decent, which kind of, surprises me a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like we see this every single season. There's one or two teams after the first 4 or 5 weeks, that could be a playoff team. And then you look at it, and then it's like they finish the rest of the season with only 2 or 3 wins. I'm not saying the Giants will do that, but we have seen that time and time again. Look at the Panthers last season. The Panthers last season started 3-0. The rest of the season, they won 2 games. So there's instances where we see this, and I mean that could happen with the Giants. Who knows? But then with the Packers are 3-1. And clearly have the best quarterback out of those 3 teams. And if Odell Beckham Jr. is wanting to attempt to try to go back to his 2016 self, be an elite wide receiver, be a top 10 receiver, what he was with New York Giants, the Packers are the clear destination to make the most sense because you're playing with the best quarterback. You're going to get the most targets. And when you look at the Saints, Michael Thomas has been hurt some, but you have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and Jarvis Landry. You're not going to get, if you play with the Saints, you're not going to be getting the targets as if you were with the Packers. Even look at the Giants. They have some okay wide receivers, but not great. But with a crappy offensive line and Daniel Jones is really inaccurate, there's going to be times you might get targets, but there might not be, catchable balls. The Packers make the most sense, and it's not even close. I don't know if the Packers would make sense to sign him right now, but once his market kind of starts catching steam, maybe let's say middle of November, trying to get him used to the scheme and stuff like that, getting prepared for the playoffs, I think that would make a ton of sense. And if Beckham's wanting to, I mean, play like he used to, I don't know why you wouldn't sign with the Packers when you could play one of the best quarterbacks of all time, who, has the best touchdown interception ratio of all time, a guy who does not throw many bad passes compared to these other two quarterbacks. I mean, Jameis Winston threw 30 picks in one season. I mean, it'd take like 5 or 6 years for Rodgers to throw 30 picks in the season. It's crazy, but Beckham should definitely sign with the Packers. It's really a no-brainer. It would really kind of be dumb if he didn't end up signing with Green Bay, because it gives him a chance to possibly maybe win a Super Bowl as well.
Well, here's my contrary to that. The only thing I can see him deterring OBJ from signing with Green Bay is the small town, the small market team. A lot of people don't sign with Green Bay because of that reason. And you look at OBJ's history: New York, big market, big city; LA, big market, big city; Cleveland, it's still a big city. It's not a big market, but it is a bigger city than Green Bay. I think, like you said, it would be really not intelligent for OBJ not to sign with the Packers. I think his best bet would be to sign with Green Bay. But like I said, I mean, he's been exposed to New York and LA. So, and he seems like that kind of guy, nightlife, popping bottles, So I don't know. We'll see. But maybe he's getting sick of it like I am. Maybe he's just like, I need a change in my life. I need to go to Green Bay, focus on football, because in Green Bay, that's all you really have to do. You're there for your job.